Hey guys, it's Rich with another Tarot Talk Tuesday. In this video, we are discussing the 2010 Lo Scarabeo, illustrated by Luca Russo, and text by Lily, the Dark Angels Tarot. The packaging is just a plain flip-top box by Lo Scarabeo. I don't know if this is in a kit version, but this is what you get, at least in this video. So, let's go ahead and get the cards on out. And I didn't get all the cards out. There's one sitting in there. There we go. Okay. So, what you get with this deck is, of course, a little white book. That's so common in the deck versions, rather than the kit versions that have the wonderful companion books that I absolutely adore. So anyway, going into this, it has one spread. It tells about the deck concepts, and basically what the concept is of this deck is angels that come to Earth at the end of Earth's existence, and they're kind of like finding people to usher them into the afterlife and stuff like that. It's kind of involved, and there's kind of a good backstory that goes with it. I was reading a little bit about it earlier on today before filming this. So, and this is back in September if you're wondering. So, anyway, it has the major and minor arcanas with a little blurb on each card. So, nothing really to write home about. I like the spread that they give. Let's see if I can remember which one it is. This one is kind of a bat spread. I don't know if you can see that. Right like that. Anyway, so it's the Dark Angel spread or whatever it is. So anyway, let's go ahead and flip you guys on down so you can go ahead and see the deck and compare it to the Rider-Waite-Smith by US Games. So here's what you get whenever you get this deck is, first off, you get a title card. And let's go ahead and use this title card as a comparison. For one, the backs are not reversible, which I like a reversible back. It's just something that I prefer. I don't really look at them, but you know, some people do, and it's important to some people. So let's see, size-wise, I think Lo Scarabeo is a little bit on the slimmer side width-wise than the Rider-Waite-Smith by US Games. So, yeah, that's a thing. The borderless, we'll go ahead and get that out of here. Borderless, you probably don't want to go borderless with this deck. I guess you could, but probably don't want to. And let's see. Go ahead and flip this up here, and I'll start explaining things as I'm flipping through. So you guys don't have to sit here and listen to me talk and not see these pictures. I do like the artwork of this. It is kind of darker, edgier. Probably not something that you want to use with somebody that fears tarot or is not used to tarot or isn't really into the dark gothic type of imagery. And one thing I do want to add is it is also not reversible in the Little White Book. It doesn't mention it in there as far as the Little White Book. So yeah. This almost seems like it's a collage style. The images are a little bit more grainy, a little bit more edgy, a little bit more I don't even know how to describe it, kind of macabre. I don't even know how to explain how these images look. They're kind of edgy, kind of dark and gothic, and I mean, they're wonderful in and of themselves. I wish they were a little bit more clear, a little bit more distinct. But you know, I can see why it's a little on the fuzzier side. It gives that air of mystery, the air of, you know, the world has ended or is ending. So yeah, I kind of like that aspect, but I kind of wish I had clearer pictures. That's just a personal preference. So yeah. Definitely a lot of gothic imagery in this, as far as being a goth. You know, I'm not a goth. However, I do appreciate people embracing a goth side, if that is something that you do. I think some people, with the way that they do their makeup and everything, I think it's absolutely wonderful and it's awe-inspiring. I'll just tell you this, I ain't got the time, patience, or money for any of that. So that's just me. But I do appreciate whenever people express themselves in that way. I think it's absolutely so cool. So yeah. Now, one thing I will notice, let me back up here a little bit, is that instead of saying that this is a page, and I'm not even in the screen, instead of saying that this is the page, they have a symbol up here that signifies the page, a symbol for the knight, and a symbol for the queen, and a symbol for the king. So that's something that you want to keep in mind whenever you're looking at this deck. And I really hope that you guys can see this clearly enough. Here. You can definitely see the difference in the feel of the Dark Angels Tarot versus the Rider-Waite-Smith. You can definitely see that this one is delving deeper into some really into a lot of shadow work. It's very much an edgy deck, one that kind of like makes you deal with your crap and then you move on, and until you deal with that crap you don't move on. And that's really kind of what this deck is telling me right now. It's just like, hey, you have something you need to deal with it. So I kind of like it whenever a deck is so forceful with its message, where it just makes you deal with your crap. I really appreciate a deck that will do that to me, or say that to me. It's like this deck won't, they won't hold back at all. But like I said before, this is probably not the deck for, you know, reading for small children, if that's something that you do. This probably is not the deck to read for somebody that really fears tarot and you're trying to give them an interest in it. It's probably not a deck that I would use for clients. And for myself, I would definitely use it, absolutely. But I probably would not use it for clients. And yeah, that's probably where I would leave that. I would use it probably for shadow work. Definitely a good deck for shadow work. It's not really a deck that I can probably pop out of the box and start reading. It's more of a, you know, sit with it, let it kind kind of marinate in your mind. Let it kind of take you on a journey. Definitely not a deck that right out of the box I really will start going and doing an in-depth reading. So, yeah. Like the Four of Wands, I probably would not decipher the meaning from that in a traditional sense as the Four of Wands. Two of Swords would be okay. Let's do another couple flippings here. Five of Swords. I don't know if I would really get the meaning right off on the Five of Swords. Six of Swords, maybe a little, but there's a lot going on in that picture that it might get lost a little bit. So this is a deck that I would definitely have to sit with a little bit more in order to really work with on a more permanent basis. The way it shuffles just fine. No complaints on the shuffling. At least on the sideways shuffle. Let's see how it shuffles regular or bridge shuffle. There we go. Yeah. I think that shuffles just fine. The thickness, it is a little bit thicker than the Rider-Waite-Smith, just by a hair. So, yeah, the cardstock is a little bit thicker. It's fairly close, though, to the Rider-Waite-Smith. So, I'm liking this deck. It's just one that I'm going to have to sit with and study a little bit more before I actually do readings for myself with it, as ones fall out. So anyway, that is the Dark Angels Tarot, produced by Lo Scarabeo, illustrated by Luca Russo, and text by Lily in the Little White Book. So, with that, I wish you guys love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.